Well, hello and welcome to What Was That Radio and a conversation with Spielbergs, an incredible band out of Oslo, Norway. I just wrapped a chat with the wonderful Mads, the singer guitar, and Christian, the drummer, that went on for about an hour and a half, just conversing about everything. What football team they support, even though that's going to really annoy Mads, so that's the lead-off point. But basically just diving into the context of their band, of their over 20 years in making music, and gearing up for the new album Vestli that is out in August of 2022. So I really appreciate you being here. What Was That Radio is all about discovering modern rock. I'm talking nothing older than the 2017 release. Over 5,000 bands and songs, where 90% of the playlist is from 2020 onwards. It's also an arts academy. It's a podcast and a foundation as well. Everything I own is split 50-50, but you can find out more by going to whatwasthatradio.com if you so wish. Otherwise, here's a conversation with Spielbergs.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm not bad, Mads. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Where are you right now?
I'm on summer holiday at my parents' cabin.
Oh, wonderful. Where's that at?
It's a place called Hvaler. It's in the southeast of Norway. It's an island group, just like when you between Norway and Sweden, but it's like a Norwegian island group.
Wonderful. Christian, you're at home right now, or what's up with you?
I am home, yes. Alone, which is nice.
No, I really appreciate you both being able to join me today. If I could cheekily ask if there's any way that you can turn your phones or whatever to widescreen, that would be awesome.
I don't know how I do that.
You've done it. You just did it, Mads. Sweet.
Okay, yeah.
And then, yeah, Christian, you've done it too. Awesome.
Okay, great.
So how was the day then? I mean, if I don't mean to interrupt a holiday, Mads. What have you been there for the last few days? What's the game plan?
Yeah, I've been here for nearly 2 weeks, and I'm going to stay another week, and then it's back to work.
And work is what right now?
I'm a librarian at the University Library of Oslo.
Oh wow, that's a pretty sweet gig.
Yeah.
You got some benefits. You got some flexibility to go and be a rock band whenever you want.
Actually, yes, I have the world's kindest boss, really. So she's I just give her the tour dates, and she gets me time off, basically.
I remember when I was in a band a few years ago, we had a friend connected to the group that worked, who was like the co-head of the library at University of Victoria on Vancouver Island here, and they said, "Oh my God, are you aware of the fact that there's so many studios for, whether it's recording studios or photography green room studios, etc., that we could utilize and go and get in there and film and use gear for free?" Is there a similar situation at that library where you're like, no,
Damn. Not at all, no.
But you do have a Zoom recorder though, Mats.
Huh?
You do have a Zoom recorder at work that we tend to borrow.
Yeah, like this. Not the Zoom software, but the Zoom like a recording device, if you understand.
Yeah, I've got one in my drawer just next to me here for when I do interviews on the go. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Oh my gosh. Well, I've got tea. What have you got, Mads? What was that?
That was brandy.
Brandy? Christian, what are you drinking?
I have rum and Coke.
Okay. Fuck. We are seriously, we're going to get comfortable, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sometimes in conversations, bands are like, oh, okay, I'll see what this guy's all about. I don't know if I want to chill with this guy too long. And then about half an hour in, people go and get cigarettes and go and get beer and wine and whatever. So yeah, get comfortable.
Yeah.
As long as the rock is comfortable underneath your bum, Mads, we're all right for about half an hour to an hour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, firstly, really, it's such a pleasure to speak to you both. I mean, I think one of the things that excites me the most is that this is not your first foray into music. You've spent over 20 years of your life loving and appreciating the art of music and trying to better yourself and grow as musicians. And is it over 20 years that you've known each other, or is it only in the last 5 or 6 that you've known each other? Because I've read multiple different things here and there of maybe you were kindergarten teachers or worked at a school, or what is the situation with how you two came to be friends firstly, I think would be a good place to start.
It was, we worked together in a kindergarten. It was like 15 years ago, Christian, maybe?
Yeah,
15?
ages. And we used to play 21, like basketball.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
So that, and Christian had his band and I had mine. And he actually took me because they needed like a temporary bass player and a percussionist at some time, and I joined like for some gigs with his band then, and we have known each other ever since.
Are there any famous Norwegian basketball players in the NBA?
No,
I don't think so. I don't know.
But I think like the number one draft has some Norwegian heritage. I think he's from Minnesota or something, and his name was really Norwegian. I think his dad's or grandparents there for Norway.
How did you get into basketball in the first place?
I'm not really into basketball though.
Well, I'm just checking.
But we had on telly in Norway. You had this show every week for free that we could watch like the highlights in like in late 90s, and I used to watch that, and then I played like in like outside just for fun. But I'm not any good, and it was a good way to spend when we're not playing with the kids. Of course, me and Mats, we did play some basketball with the kids as well. But yeah,
and we played punk songs on the acoustic guitar in the kindergarten.
Yeah,
and our boss back then did not approve. You should only play children's songs.
Yeah.
What did you you were playing originals to the kids in the class, or you were reworking some classics and making them a bit more edgy?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe like no effects or whatever, like just playing tunes.
Wow. Fat Mike would be really appreciative of you playing that and spreading the word to the younger generation.
I hope so.
So no, I only ask about the basketball, Christian, because I mean I'm obviously from England originally, but I moved to the west coast of Canada nearly 13 years ago, and we didn't get many channels on TV, but then we would get highlights of American sports, obviously baseball and basketball, hockey and football, etc. But we'd only really get teams that were in and around Pittsburgh and Boston, and so I would watch various teams, Boston Bruins in hockey or Red Sox baseball or Celtics when it came to the basketball. So I just wonder, like, did you pick up did you probably just got a bunch of LA, did you, like the Lakers and stuff like that on your highlight package?
I think it was a lot of Michael Jordan and a lot of Chicago.
Chicago
Bulls.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, so I think, and if I had a team, I think that was my team, because Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman and all of those. That was a brilliant team. I watched the. Have you seen the documentary on Netflix about
I haven't
that
yet.
team?
No.
Great, it's a great watch.
There's just too much to watch is the problem.
Yeah, and I don't know why we are talking about basketball, because I don't think I don't think me and Mats are experts in any way.
No, well, it's fine. But in the first 5 or 10 minutes of getting to know someone, it's just fun to dive into the different avenues of what we get into.
It's great.
How old are your kids?
It's so random thing. It's just a random thing.
How old are your kids? You were saying your father's.
Yeah, mine is 11.
Yeah. And I have two, a girl, a 10-year-old girl, and a 7-year-old boy.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I've been with my partner Jody for 2 and a bit years now, and Jody has an 8-year-old son called Harley, who's awesome, who I've learned so much from the pair of them. And they allowed me to move in here when I used to work in commercial broadcasting, and I quit to start this. And so they allowed me to move in with them, and it's been an incredible couple of years. I get just set up my office in the living room, which is why you can see the fish tank, and don't know if you can see the cat sleeping next to me and all that. But
Nice,
awesome. Well,
but Where in Canada are you located? Is it?
It's on Vancouver Island, Christian. So
Nice. I have relatives at Vancouver Island.
Oh, where?
I don't know because it's my mom's cousins lives there because they emigrated from my granddad's sister emigrated after the Second World War. So and I haven't seen them in so many years, but they live in Vancouver Island and their kids as well. It'd be great to visit one day.
It would be great to visit. I mean, most bands, usually they get to Vancouver on the mainland, and then there's a slight issue with a 3-hour ferry where it's like an hour and 45 minutes, but all said and done, it's 3 hours, and it could be quite costly. But we certainly, since the pandemic has sort of chilled out a bit and the gigs have started to flow a bit more, it does affect us because bands have to work in that extra expenditure and cost. But it would be so incredible to get you guys anywhere near here, and I'm going to be there because I just think you're such a brilliant band.
Thank you.
So it would be sweet to get you over here. So I'm just really looking forward to Vestli. But the first thing I wanted to do actually was to, if you could help me learn a little bit of Norwegian, because ever since I started this radio station 20 months ago, I've fallen in love with so many great Norwegian bands. Like I don't know if you are probably aware of the fact of, Brutus and Lute and Combos and Pompoko and Aiming for Enrique and Blood Command, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, but is it Kvelertak? Is that the metal?
Yeah, Kvelertak, yeah.
Kvelertak. Just incredible. So I feel like with you guys, I need to get ready to at least say, hello, my name is John, as cheesy as that sounds. How would I say that in Norwegian?
You'd say hi.
Hi. Fuck it. Yeah, got it. We got it, Mads. That's
hi.
it.
Yeah, okay. Hi. Okay, so first you say hi. And then you say jeg heter John.
Jeg heter John.
Yeah, almost.
Jeg heter It's a fucking terrible impression of it. I can roll, but I can't roll like you can roll,
Well, I'm sorry for you.
No, well, thank you. I appreciate your honesty, Mads. Give me another, I don't know, 20 years and I'll try and improve on it.
Yeah.
But okay.
You can say fan.
Fan?
Yeah,
that's swearing.
That's swearing like fuck.
Oh, okay.
Almost. It actually means the devil. The devil.
Fun. Okay. All right. All right. Of course, the first thing I get taught is swear. Why are the swear words always easier to say? Is it because they're just one syllable? Bam. That's it. Shit.
Probably.
Fuck. Yeah. Bollocks. No, that's two, isn't it? Oh, well.
Probably.
All great words.
You can say morapuler.
What does that mean?
That's several syllables. Morapuler.
Yeah, but before I fucking try and say it, Mads, what does it mean?
Yeah. Motherfucker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, let's hone in on the music. The way that you layer and produce songs is incredible. I know that WizKid probably isn't his name, but WizKid on the synths and the keys, but is WizKid a part of the process? Because it was you two that started this band first and foremost. And it was you two that were deciding on the Friday nights, from what I can read and find in previous conversations, where you would go along to an abandoned warehouse or something along those lines and just jam out. And then it turned into, okay, well, we're doing sort of club nights every Friday. Was there a focus on a particular genre that you wanted to dive into at the start of this? Was there a focus on a particular sound, or was it just, let's just fucking get together and smash and just produce something and just release?
Yeah, the latter. It was Christian and I were in the same situation. We have had kids, and we had gone to university, and we got our jobs, and then we suddenly realized we missed playing, and so we got together and just like played whatever we could, like whatever we played.
Whatever was fun, and we got drunk.
Yeah. and then we like it started like to sound like something, and then we just went on with it really and tried to find a bass player. And Stian on bass is a childhood friend of mine, and we tried. We had like several bass players come try out with us, and it sounded good. Like I'm not like talking shit about anybody, but when we got Stian to come to the rehearsal, it just clicked, and that was that really.
Christian, what was that like for you?
I actually asked Stian in the men's room at the farewell show for another Norwegian band to join. Me and Mats had talked about this for some time, and then I didn't know Stian that well, but his like calming personality. Me and Mats are both quite emotional and tend to argue a bit. But Stian is always the more quiet and more like
diplomatic
kind of guy.
Yeah.
So so that was a good match, and then and it felt quite natural from the first jam that we did.
That's certainly what pulled me into your music when I discovered This Is Not the End in 2019, which was thanks to NME that wrote a really nice review on you guys. And actually, no, do you know what? We need to go back a little bit further here. I want to know about who the fuck James and Jay are that came up to you at the, is it Trondheim Calling?
Yeah.
Did they have a little bit to say with how that sort of English and European connection expanded a bit, or what's the deal with those two? Are they real?
Definitely, they are real. When we started the band, we didn't have. We just wanted to make music that we wanted to listen to ourselves. Didn't have a vision of anything, and we were quite lucky early on and got a nice couple. Like the first 2 gigs, we're quite lucky with those, and the second one was at Trondheim Calling, which is kind of a Great Escape or South by Southwest, just like a tiny version of it. And Christian, that runs Fysisk Format, the label that we release this album to in Scandinavia, he brought James and Jay because they run prescription PR in the UK, and to that gig. After the gig, they came up and was excited about what they saw. I remember that I had like a constant feedback from the kick drum pedal for the 30-minute shows. I had no idea what that gig sounded like. I thought it was terrible, but they were like little kids with like stars in their eyes. And they tried to hook us up with some other labels because they liked what they heard, and then they decided to start their own because they felt like our music should be out there. And of course, when they do PR, they did the PR as well and running the label, so that was good for us. They put their heart into it, and I think they did a pretty good job on the first album. So yeah, that was a kind of a fairy tale for us.
What did you think about them initially, Mads?
I actually didn't meet them in Trondheim. Usually when we have played the gig, Christian stays behind and like talk to people, and I just get drunk. And that was what I did back then. and yeah, that's all.
I think what speaks to me, to go back to my point, is Mads, the way that your lyrical content, the way that you share, and I know that you've said in certain press releases here and there as we get ready for the new album, it is Vestli. Am I saying that right, Vestli, or is it? Yeah.
That's good.
I appreciate how much you dive deep into your experiences and your soul and then share. And there's I think that's the key to why Spielbergs has grown so well in the last few years for me, is because I believe you. I don't really have time for connecting with music that I feel is forced and fake and bullshit. And whether I can even understand necessarily the language, music is that art form that can speak and touch your soul, for the lack of being too cheesy here. But with We're All Gonna Die, I adored just how poignant it was, but also that it was very apparent very quickly with Distant Star as well, that you're not writing songs to fit into an algorithm or to fit into some, you know, release format. You're writing songs that are shining through from you. And with every song that you've released gearing up for Vestli, I'm just becoming slowly and slowly obsessed with how willing you are to be open like that. And when you look back at your last 20 years of being in and around music, what do you, Mads, see as your own growth? Is it that you've become, have you always been this open in the other bands? Have you always been so go, go, go? Or do you feel that you've grown into this new version of yourself that is like just completely fearless?
Yeah. Thank you, first of all. I don't know. It's I used to play in, I had this band before, which was like a post-hardcore band where I was like listening to At the Drive-In and the Mars Volta and everything, and I tried to like make difficult lyrics, if you can understand what I'm saying. It was like cryptic, trying to like, what does this mean? And then I just started just writing, like, because I'm not English, I'm not a English speaking individual, so I just started like writing songs like more spontaneously. And it's not, I'm not like it's not like I have a vision of what I want to write about or something. Usually I just write the chords, the riffs, and then I like have a melody on top, and then I just try to fit in with the words. And it's like, I guess it's unconscious for the most, I think.
Yeah,
you know?
just writing without having to sit down and force yourself. It's just a release, just a natural in the moment release.
Yeah, and and I don't have like, I think it's nothing to be ashamed about, to like have anxieties and like worries and stuff. It's just like, yeah.
And that's
yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mads, I interrupted you.
No. I have nothing to say.
Well, you have everything to say, and you're saying it well. Thank you for sharing it. No, with every living creature, you said in the press release, quote, "No escape. You're dealing with issues in your mind: regret, shame, fear, should haves and could haves. No way out. Maybe you don't like who you are, or who you've become. You're stuck with being you." And then you go on to say that at the end of it, Vestli is the name of the suburban borough in the northeastern part of Oslo where both Stian and I grew up. You can leave Vestli, but Vestli never leaves you. End quote. Yeah. So what do you mean by you can leave Vestli, but it never leaves you? What makes that stand out?
No, it's like you have like, okay, so I'm constantly going back. I'm like this person that can like think back and remember something I said to another person like 10 years ago, and then regret it and just, why did I say that? And it's like, the place I came from, like I have memories, both good and bad, from my childhood, my like teenage years, whatever. But it's I don't know. I think it's I find it difficult to like let go of my past. If you and actually, like, to call the album Vestli was Christian's idea. And to me, when I first heard the idea, I didn't like connect it to anything really. I just thought it sounded right and good. And we have talked about it quite a bit, and like, it just fits really with what I just said about having difficulties, like letting go of the past and whatever.
Well, to share a little bit more context around me, because that's what we need to do in a conversation where we just flipping met each other. But I that's the energy that I tap into with you, Mads. And Christian, will come to you in a second. I know you've just prepared your latest rum and coke, which we adorably saw your camera upside down, pointing at the ceiling for a split second, Christian, for a split second. But when I was, and not to dive too deep into it here, but I had a really horrible thing happen to me when I was 10 years old in a small town I was in England, where the long story short is that I was abused by strangers. And so that meant that I grew up in my teenage years really trying to figure out who the fuck I was. You know, am I emo? Am I punk? Am I hardcore? Am I rock? Am I indie? And I went through every which way trying to find out and chill who I am. That's what led me to move to Canada, which we could speak about for 2-3 hours. But I moved here because my grandmother was born and raised on the island. When she passed away, there was a get-together in Toronto. I met some family that I'd never met before or hadn't seen since I was like 5 or 6 years old when they came to Scotland for a reunion many years back. And I thought, well, this seems like the place that I need to try and go and figure out who I am. So I came on a quick backpacking trip here that ended up being a few months. And then I moved back a year later, and I've been here nearly, 13 years. And I used to cry whenever it rained because I nearly got drowned. And I used to, and that, Mads, is one of the biggest thing that you could ask my partner, Jody, that sometimes when I'm in the doldrums of my mind, where I'm like, I really wish I could go back in time and flip that switch and take back those words and try and find some closure. That's something that I went on this really wacky retreat sort of situation several years ago where we had to get in a circle and talk about all the horrible things we'd done. And I remember when my family lost everything and we didn't have a home for a little bit when I was a kid, and I stole one of my friend's hockey sticks because we couldn't afford a hockey stick. And then I came back from this trip, and 20 years later, I was trying to find this person to email them and say, you probably don't fucking know who I am anymore, but I was the asshole that took your stick. And it haunts me sometimes. But that's just some context that you need before we dive back into that. But Christian, to go over to you, Christian, in talking about the title of Vestli, what sparked that idea for you now that you've got a fresh rum and coke?
I think the things that Matt said and knowing his lyrics as well, it's I think we all have that place that we grew up, and it shapes us in so many ways. Like we have the good memories and we have the bad memories, and I think for Mats as well, like the Vestli for Mats and Stian is huge part of their lives, and also like a huge part of all the good memories, but also some of like the darkness that Mats brings into its lyrics. So I thought it was a good idea, and I think it's quite a universal thing, like things that you just share with us as well. We all have that with us. If it's Vestli, if it's Vancouver Island, if it's whatever it is. So I think it was a good thing to, because it's for everyone, and as well like the can bring it into a lot of the lyrics that Mats writes. So that was my thoughts about the idea of Vestli. Yeah,
I think if you released a record called Spielbergs Vancouver Island, I might throw up a little bit in my mouth. It doesn't sound as cool as Vestli. It just sounds a bit forced and like a folk record of "We're on the beach. It's so warm. It's so lovely on Vancouver Island." It just seems like it's, bring out the drums, form a little fire pit, slow down, I think. But
that sounds like a good song.
Shut up, man.
But I think like the whole the Vestli, when we said that title to Norwegian journalists, they don't really like it. But when we say it to people abroad, they do like the title. And
that's why I say that point, and you've picked up on it, Christian, which is, why is it that we find it so hard to celebrate brilliance in our backyard, but yet we adore anything that's from outside of our shores? Why is it that the hometown band's got to work 10 times harder? It fascinates me.
I think it's the same in Norway.
It's the same everywhere, I think. Like these little pockets of community that are like, no, you got to be cool. You got to be from Sweden, not Norway. It's like, I don't understand why it exists. Why is it so hard?
It is. It's strange. It's strange.
That's what I find interesting when we bring back these two James and Jays, and actually, I tell you what, I noticed on Instagram you were being followed by Menno of Mav Carlo and Colorado. Has he messaged you at all? Because he runs a label in Canada called Royal Mountain Records.
Okay.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, so Menno follows you on Instagram. He's a wonderful, I've known him for over a decade. He's a wonderful soul. And Royal Mountain Records, they basically, Colorado set up a label over a decade ago when no one would sign them. And then it became like the indie rock band Sweethearts of Canada and had good success in Holland and France and the UK a little bit. But their label looks after some incredible bands like Pup and Always and No Bro and a lot of bands that I see that you follow as well. So I think that's definitely, just before I forget, you should dive in and maybe send him a cheeky message and say like, hey, we like Canada, and he could probably seriously help you, because I would selfishly, I want you over here ASAP.
Yeah, I think that will be one of like our on the bucket list for things that we really want to do is go to like US and Canada to play gigs, because being really boring if we look at like the streaming and stuff, a lot of our streaming is in the US and in Canada. So I think we talked about this for ages, Mats and I, like to go over to the US and Canada would be like a big dream, even though like for like 6 shows in 10 days, it will be fucking amazing. So hopefully next year something will happen.
Yeah, I was just trying to pull up where your stats are for that, but sometimes it shows it and sometimes it doesn't show the most popular locations.
Yeah, but it's also like myself. I've always been a big fan of American music, and it's also that, and also like going to the US and eat a hamburger or something, or a New York slice, that in itself would be a dream come true. Yeah.
How far have you traveled in your lifetime so far? I mean, because you've been in other bands that have toured around. Those other bands didn't ever make it to the US or North America?
No.
Nope.
Just
so it's
Europe.
A big trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I've been very lucky to go to India several years ago for a couple of weeks, and I've been all over the UK, but I've been nowhere in Europe, and then I've been all over Canada since I moved here. So it's like, because we didn't really have any money to do anything when I was a kid. Like, we did a quick trip to like Disney World, which I think was a family support situation. Go and check it out. But I would love to go and dive into things in Europe, you know, like you're talking about getting a hamburger and a pizza slice. I'd love to go to Norway and get the Norwegian dish that I don't know in this moment. It would be lying if I made it up. And I'd love to go.
The brown cheese. The brown cheese.
The brown
Norway.
Cheese?
Yeah.
Brown cheese on knäckebröd.
Knäckebröd or on a waffle.
And so the brown cheese is very strong. It's the pronunciation makes me think of pungent.
No, it's sweet. It's like a caramelized something milk stuff. It's a strange thing. I actually heard that there's now an Indian dairy that makes Norwegian brown cheese, because the Norway hasn't like we have not what is it called when you like tie a product to the country of origin or something? Do you know what I mean? Like like champagne or whatever. And so now there's an Indian dairy that makes brown cheese, Norwegian brown cheese.
It's not authentic.
We made it.
That's strange.
We made it. That's a country. We made it.
So, so what? I mean, you can't. So, so you're saying if you were to come and play on Vancouver Island and you brought me some brown cheese in your backpack, you get in trouble.
Of course.
You can't bring it, or
no,
it can leave Norway.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
All right, we're just sort of setting it up like it's some sort of got to be smuggled, dodgy shit, Mads. I don't understand.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, just throw away the band and smuggle brown cheese. What are you wasting your time? I don't understand.
That's a good idea.
Record number 3. Don't take our brown cheese.
Brown cheese.
Yeah.
LP3.
Oh, God. Okay, I'd love to. Is it okay if I play you some of your music and dive into dissecting it a bit, or is that going to annoy you?
Go for it. Probably annoy you, Mats, but go for it.
Okay, let me turn it down a little bit so it doesn't blow your ears out. But all right, we'll start with a bit of "We're All Gonna Die." I'm going to skip it about halfway through. And then I'm going to play a little bit of You All Look Like Giants. And then also McDonald's, Please Don't Fuck Up My Order, which is just such a great song title name for number one. I love the eerie start. Have you ever been tempted to just go through a McDonald's drive-through and just play them the song? I know that's really cheesy. It's just so ominous and dark at the beginning of it, which is like, you know, everyone's had a bad experience with fast food when you don't get what you want, and I feel like you've put sonically into a song it's like the walk of shame away from the burger joint. You fucked up my cheeseburger, you asshole. You know? It's almost like a Western. You could make a music video like a Western. Anyway, we'll jump into the middle. And into the last 2 minutes. And I think those three for me, with This Is Not the End, and hello, who's this? Is it his son?
Peter.
Oh no, Peter. Sorry, you got two daughters.
Yeah, it's my son. He can't hear you, but say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Luckily, I'm not going to use any of the other words that Mads taught me earlier to say hello.
He already knows them.
Yeah, probably. It's actually like what's pretty cool with Harley, again, my partner's son who's 8 years old, is he knows what all the bad words are, but he also chooses not to use them. Whereas my sister, my sister who's 40, she's 7 years older. What's she then? 40, 42, 43. She won't listen to my radio station because I don't edit the music, because she doesn't want her 10-year-old and 7-year-old to know what any bad words are. And I'm like, they know what the bad words are. You can't hide these words from kids. Otherwise, they're going to be the kids that walk around Toys R Us going FSB all the time, thinking they're really cool. Like when they're 15 years old, like I've learned what fuck is. You know, anyway, that's a side note. Again, I just realized, I instantly forgot that they're sat next to you, and I'm swearing away. Okay. I wanted to...
can't hear you.
Earbuds, perfect.
Yeah. No worries. Just swear away.
Okay. With this first record, This Is Not the End. This is to couple onto what I said earlier. I adore the lyrical content, but I adore tenfold the soundscaping that goes on through this record. It seems very particular. It seems that we're going into, okay, here's 2 minutes, then we're going to chill out for 3 minutes, and there's 2 minutes, and it just is so beautifully balanced. So what I'd like to nerd out and dive into is the recording process. And from reading other chats and conversations you've had with people over the years, understand that you're familiar with and friends with Tord from Wombats and Marius and Teamy. Obviously, the connection with Teamy, Christian, is many years in the making. But were those the two gents that you joined up with to record this album? Or was it you at the start, or where do you want to start with that? Because I'd love to know all the details.
Yeah, they because I played. In 2008 when I lived in Liverpool, I was in another band. We moved to the UK and got drunk for 3 years and made an album. And then I lived with Tord. He was away on tour most of the time, but I rented the room in his flat, so we became friends. I moved back home, and then the years when me and Mats didn't play in bands, we still stayed in touch. And I was in Teamy, of course, and Tord and Marius, they are friends from when they were kids. And when we started this thing, me and Mats, they were really the two guys pushing us to record. They said they knew that something was going on, and they said, "Well, we'll record. We'll meet up in the rehearsal room. We can start there, do the drums, and take it from there." And then they recorded the first EP that we did. They recorded, I think, was it most of like the drums and bass in the rehearsal room, Mats?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then we did the record,
Distance,
like
sorry,
the vocals in the studio.
For Distant Star, are you talking about right now?
Yeah. And that were more or less the two guys pushing, and I think they had listened to a couple of demos, and they really liked it, and they said that you guys should release this. And yeah, so they've been behind us like the entire way. Even I toured even. It was his idea with the band name, because we couldn't agree on one, and we had Ghost Boy from the first EP was we called that the Spielbergs song, and then he said that, well, can't you just name your band Spielbergs? And that was that. So they've been really supportive and important, like from the beginning. Yeah. Do you have something to add, Mats?
No.
Nothing to add. What is my cat? My cat's giving me grief behind me. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting name choice. So you mean like just because that was what you'd sort of roughly titled the song?
Yeah,
you referred to that song as that?
Yeah. The Ghost Boy song. I was living in by myself in a small flat, and I was watching the Close Encounters of the Third Degree movie, and I was I guess I had smoked something and whatever, and I was like, I had my guitar in my lap while watching the movie, and I just started like playing this thing, and that was the opening guitar of Ghost Boy. And then I recorded it on my laptop, and then I brought it, like, this was actually maybe 1 or 2 years before we started the band at all. And then I brought the demo to Christian and Stian, and we just like made this thing out of it, and it was what it was. But that's why it was called the Spielberg song.
Ghost Boy.
And one of the songs that we are probably like most like happy with still, and we always like play it live.
Yeah,
it's an outstanding song. I'm going to play a little sample of it right now, just so I don't shock you. If my computer wants to play it, there we go. Is that real rain, or is it just off of YouTube?
It's real rain. Yeah.
Just because I read an article many years ago where Jack White built a house and missed hearing the sound of the rain, so he installed speakers around his, supposedly around the windows to play the sound of rain. So
Is it a band? No. Is a band name Real Rain?
Real Rain with their debut EP Vancouver Island and their debut album Brown Cheese coming in 2025.
Yeah.
Let me skip it in a few minutes. This song is just so good. And that's one of my favorite things with the band is the layering of the guitars is just stunning. I love the dissonance, the space that you leave between them. I love that in most cases you've got 5 or 6, but 2 or 3 of them are just really wide left and right, and they just make this sort of ethereal space over there with the main drive in the middle. Christian obviously at the back there keeping it all tight, and obviously we're not going to miss out on Stian, but the way that these have been layered up is just so beautiful. Skip a bit further through to show when that texture really builds. that is something that because I also, Mads, I smoke some things that help me to chill out before I go to bed at night, not have nightmares and barely sleep. And when it comes to listening to your music, that's the biggest thing that gets me going, is especially if I've got the headphones on, I'm walking around on the church land next door, that we're next to a church, and that's where I go and smoke weed. And just the rise, the anthemic rise with your songs. And it's quite often that happens. Is that because you're trying to push yourself through these stories that you're sharing, and that you don't want it to be dark at the end? You want it to move through the darkness and towards away from it? Or is that particular, or it just happens?
I think it just happens. I think you're overthinking it.
I love over-fucking thinking it, Mads.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're overthinking until you speak with the artist, and then you can say, no, it's really not a big deal, bro.
No, actually, I think we have this way of writing songs that have become like we make, when we have a new song, we make it like in a certain way, and we have to try to make different decisions than we first like. Help me, Christian. Like we have like, we make songs like, okay, I don't know how to put it, like, but we try. It's quite natural how we make the song initially, and then we sometimes have to like, okay, we have done this before, we have to do something different. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're like so maybe we should I don't know.
No, I get you, Mads.
Yeah.
Because we have a tendency of what we want in a song, and we have probably we are more self-aware than many when listening to the new album. I think, well, this is a solution that we have done on the first EP. Why are we doing the same? But yeah, probably like a self-critical kind of thing as well. Maybe it's not a bad thing. But it's
sometimes the song wants what the song wants, and that's okay. But yeah, we try to do things.
Or as to quote Gattuso, sometimes maybe shit, sometimes maybe good.
Are you quoting Gennaro Gattuso, the football player?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I just trying to hang up on him. He's like have you seen like the GIF? Like sometimes maybe shit, sometimes maybe good.
Yeah.
I just like this summer it's been my thing.
That guy is the epitome of an Italian football warrior. I mean, I support Tottenham Hotspur. That's my football team. Oh, are you a Tottenham fan?
I fucking love. I'm a part of the fan, like Norwegian. I've been seeing matches since Stefan Iversen played up front.
I had an Iversen shirt when I was a kid.
My son is brainwashed. He's now Mats is losing us. Now he's like fuck off because he hates football. But yeah, I'm a Spurs man. It's been like since I was like 11. So
I am genuinely, Mads. I'm going to just say thank you for your patience for the next 3 minutes. Let me start a timer.
No problem.
There we go.
This is my life. Listening to people talking about football. Yeah.
Or like Japanese or some kind of Ole the sound like the
Japanese movies and football. Well, yeah.
Well, you know, Mads,
I'm all for it.
Mads, you need to understand, and I know that you understand, and you instantly don't give a shit. But we have supported a team that does not know really how to win anything for most of our life, and we're at the precipice right now where we're flirting with ambition. We have Harry Kane, we have Son, we have Kulusevski, we have the Richarlison side. I can't believe, Christian, I've had so many nosebleeds this summer because Daniel Levy is actually buying players before the last day of the transfer window. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible. I think maybe people are a bit like overhyped, because if you look at the squad, we still need like Lucas is not like the best at his position, and I think we still need like a central midfielder or something, because with like 4 tournaments and 4 central midfielders, I think we need something else in there as well. And I think we need maybe another centre back, but I am looking at like top 3, 4, and I'm really happy if we make top 4 and maybe like in a final or something.
Yeah,
but we've been to finals before, but we always lose, except in 2008. So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be record number 4, Mads. Will be why so much fucking sport talk. That's what that's going to be called. But I think
and Stian as well. Stian as well is a huge football fan, and Christopher that plays guitar with us as well. He's a Man U fan, and Ole, the synth player. He's he's interested in like
Everything.
Everything.
It's unrelenting.
But also football. So Mats has a like terrible time on tour when we talk about football.
He's just in the back with his headphones in, drinking, smoking, and just saying, please, are we there yet? Are we there yet? The last thing, though, is you said with Stian that he supports a football team. Does that mean it's a rival? Because you didn't even say their name. Are they
No, it's Liverpool, so it's, yeah. But Connor from BSM, he also tend to be our tour manager. He's an Arsenal fan. So I've had a lot of fun with him last couple of months.
Yeah, it's been a great year to be a Tottenham fan over Arsenal. It really has.
It's great 5 or 6 years, actually.
Yeah. I just, it's game to game with that rivalry. It really is.
Yeah.
Very short memories on the Arsenal side of the thought process. Okay, awesome. Well, I didn't see that coming. I thought after our basketball flirtation earlier that sports was just off the table.
No, I can even talk about darts if you like to, but
oh my god!
Please,
I can see you with a table of beers and 9 darts for sure.
I lived in Liverpool for 3 years. My first experience living on a cold floor in Liverpool. I watched like the darts world championship, and Wolfie Adams won. So that was my first 2 weeks in the UK.
It's such an interesting part of the subculture of England. Is I never really got it. Like, obviously I know what it is. There was lots of TV shows when I was a kid centered around darts and trying to make darts. Like the whole getting darts into the Olympics, I find fucking hilarious. I mean,
because there will be a lot of drunk people throwing darts.
Yeah, I think it's just to get people there to make money on selling alcohol, because it's a skill. I don't want to insult any dart fans out there. It's a skill to do that, It's like threading a needle from 10 feet away, but I just don't get it. I get the camaraderie. I just don't get it. May as well play horseshoe,
And if you look at the players, especially like the British players, they have had like a couple of pints during their lifetime.
Yes,
playing darts. So it's it's a kind of a moving to the UK, and this is like my first sports event on national TV. It was very fascinating.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't write a sitcom on it. It's a very polite way of describing darts folk, Christian.
Yeah,
very polite. Okay.
I try my best.
Well then, Mads, what do you do when they start talking football? Do you just literally think la 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 fuck this, or do you dive into other avenues?
No, that's it.
Don't think too much on it.
No comments.
But you do like skateboarding though, Mats? You had a promising career before you broke your.
No, I didn't have a promising career. I didn't. But yeah,
you were known as like the skater boy of Vestli.
No.
Yeah, I think you were a character on Tony Hawk when I was growing up.
Maybe.
That it'd be pretty cool to get some Spielbergs on the new Tony Hawk franchise games.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Kerrang tried their best when they reissued. I love like the first Tony Hawk. I even play it now with my son, and they had this piece on what music should be on the new reissue of, and they mentioned us, which was really kind of them.
Wow, that's awesome.
We didn't end up, but I think Didn't Pop make it?
I think they did, yes, yeah. Do you ever, you've said a few times throughout this conversation that you just make it. You don't necessarily sit down and make a plan. But now that things have really started to move in in positive motion. Do you have at least some sort of dreams or bucket list? You've got that hamburger, the slice of pizza. Have you thought about trying to get on certain soundtracks or games or anything like that? Because the world seems to have really opened up to that as a money-making part of the ecosystem for bands too lately.
Yeah, we have a guy in LA that works on that for us, but yeah, we'll see. He tried to get us on the Bill and Ted soundtrack, but he didn't manage to do it.
They chose someone big, didn't they?
I'm not
I
sure
can't remember
what
much.
happened there. No,
But
I haven't seen
they
that.
chose something someone a lot bigger than us.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the film. I'd be guessing.
But it would be great to have to be a part of like a cool game or something like that. That would be great. And I think like Tony Hawk as well. It would be a good fit, but you never know.
In a completely different turn of events, I'd like to dive into just how you go about structuring your lives, because the context for me is leaving the commercial radio business and diving into trying to build my own baby that focuses on modern rock. So as I think I've messaged one of you, it might be you, Christian, on social media, as we see Christian Sealing as you go to get, is it another rum and coke? Is it time for a new rum and coke?
Yeah, if my cat will allow me.
Well, your cat's the fucking angry bartender? What's the...
No, he's hungry.
Oh, right.
It's in the evening, so, but yeah.
Yeah, it must be nearly 9 p.m. for you. But what was I going to say?
Structuring our lives.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mads. Sorry, I had a complete brain fart and forgot what I was even doing for a second there. But the big thing for me is having fallen in love with Jodie, having moved in with Jodie and her son Harley, and now like it's summer holidays, and so trying to make sure I work part-time down the road at stacking produce at like a grocery store, because what was that is my baby. It's a purely modern rock radio station, and it's nothing older than 2017. Over 90% of the 5,000 bands and songs that I play are released from 2020 onwards. It's just trying to be in the moment, trying to find the next, just things that galvanize my soul in and around modern rock. And it's everything I own is split 50-50 to go into the Arts Academy, where I have friends of mine, music teachers, where, you know, if someone wants to sign up in Canada to learn guitar or to sing or music technology, they can sign up to do that. And then also with the foundation, it gives out grants to people that support me, whether that's to help with their mental health, to go for counseling, whether that's to help them move house, to move and get the ferry fees covered, or if their dog needs surgery, or if their kid needs, you know, some new back to school gear, whatever it might be that we've given out grants to. But then the other part of that is getting money into independent bands' pockets and buying a bunch of vinyl or merch, or just sending straight up cash donations towards recording, and et cetera, et cetera. And my point being, with that context aside, is that I'm constantly trying to find the right flow, where there's the family time, there's what was that time, and then there's also working at Quality Foods and making sure that I'm doing my job there. How, as you've grown into these parenthood roles and then diving back into bands again, and not just diving back into bands, but being like, okay, we want to tour this thing. We want to go to Europe. We want to go to America. How have you found that balance with your families and with yourselves to be able to attack all these passions? Because I'd love to learn from you on that. It's delicate.
No, you have nothing to learn from me, at least, because it's chaos. I have my job, and then 2019, when our first album dropped, we had to go on tour quite a lot. And as I said earlier, I have a very kind boss, and she let me go. And my kids missed me, and
you missed your kids.
Yeah, it's not easy. But it's yeah, we'll see. This is the second time. We're not experienced dad rock stars at all. We're just hopefully at the beginning of something, but
I think Mats, we learned a lot from 2019, though. Me at least. My now wife and I was almost in kind of breakup mode after that year. We had 100 traveling days, and then 70 whatever gigs, and then a full-time job, coming back from tour, being a full-time dad, football coach, trying to be like 100% focused at work. It's quite difficult to like juggle those kind of like all the balls or whatever. So I at least have tried. We worked through that, and now we're married, which is a good thing. So we came out to the other end like through counts like family therapy. But then this year and next year, I am trying to do. I know what I did wrong, like on the last 2019 tour, that I didn't have time off when I got back home. I just went straight back into work. So I'm trying to like adjust my life so that I can be present when I'm coming back from tour, and then like be alive with my son and with my wife. And then when I got back to work, and I need to be like 100% there as well, since I work within like drug rehab. So I think I learned a lot from that year. That 2019 was like a roller coaster ride. And I remember like when we did like the Germany, we all had our lows probably of that year in Germany in December. But then again, when I think back now, it was an amazing year, and it's I've learned so much what to do and what not to do when like this tour and this album. I'm not sure, Mats, if you share this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was a good year, but structuring my life, I don't know shit.
Yeah, because I think that's what I found in the last 2 years, and there's no right or wrong answer to any question I ask. It's just getting the different viewpoint of how we all live our lives individually, and you can't really put any structure down. Like, you might know that you're going to work at the library between 9 and 5, but you've got no idea what happens between 6 and 8, and it's just you're just working with it. I mean, it's like, I didn't know that I was going to get to meet the family, Mads, all walking around behind you. That was that's like they just walked over and went, "You're on the phone still to this guy? What the hell's going on?" So. Yeah. You never know until you're in that moment. I think the key for me, what I've learned is with Jody and Harley in my corner, and how well we communicate, and how quickly we squash anything that might build into a narrative that might be risky, whether that's, because Jody is working her backside off. Everyone's trying to work as hard as we can to just succeed and have fun. I mean, but that's the main thing, is just to keep it as simple as possible, to make sure that life is fun.
Yeah.
So there is not really an answer to it. We're all just trying to fucking keep our head above the water and keep going. Yeah. But I appreciate you both.
It's like I often think like, what do I want to do? Okay, I want to do this thing. Well, how do I do this thing? And then I just have to do the thing, and then all these things happened around me, and I have to like just manage it. It's like, it's impossible. We can plan dates for the band. I can plan dates for the family, whatever, but there's stuff happening all of the time. And I'm just trying to do what I want to do. And sometimes I have to do things I don't want to do. And that's it. and then I die. And that's die. Life. And that's life. That was my life.
Yeah, but Mats, I think as well, like to be like in this place where we are as a band, a lot of good things are happening. Like, reviews been great. We don't know what like the new album could be like shit, but
it won't.
It's all been very positive for us. But it's not like that we have earned enough money to say to our families that we can, let's just fuck off for 3 months. And then we can't justify that for our families because we have more, like I have like I have to pay rent. I have to, So we are like in between, in Norwegian, in between like chairs. That's a Norwegian like expression.
Right.
But then we want to, of course, like do like the whole to tour as much as possible. We have to juggle, like, because we need to be at home at some like parts of that year, or we need to be at work as well. So it's kind of a puzzle.
Stan, did you just refer to a Norwegian saying being essentially musical chairs? Is that what you were?
No. Is that falling between chairs?
The folding between chairs?
No,
Falling.
falling.
Oh, falling. Sorry, mate. I don't want to.
So that's a Norwegian expression that we have, because you don't really sit
No.
anywhere.
No, awesome.
But it's that's as we said to another interview that we did the other week. Like we play as much as we can, and if it makes sense, we'll come and play.
Yeah, it's just finding those pockets. With every time you go on a little tour, you'll learn more about what you want to do and how you want to make sure that you keep the space and time for family connection in between it.
And luckily,
and also it's about money, because we're not making a lot of money right now, and if we did make money, we would be freer to do more. So
yeah, good point.
No, I feel you on that. That's what's so delicate about it. It's like for a band that might start in Canada, and if you're on Vancouver Island and you want to go to Vancouver and play a show, that's $500 to get your band there and get the ferry and the car over. It's and you're not going to make $500 for that show. You're going to make $50 to $150 if you're lucky. So that's the difficulty that you have to try and plan out and scheme the best you can.
I remember one of the first shows we did in London. We had like paid for planes and like hotel or whatever, travel lodge, and we came to the venue, and the promoter came to us with £50 like cash for the whole band. It's like impossible.
Yeah, you're losing money to try and get exposure.
Yeah, to play for like I don't know,
100 maybe. But the thing is that
hopefully 100.
But the thing is that's we are lucky to be from Norway though. Like we have governmental funding, which helps us. Like they've been really supportive on this album. They've made it possible for us to go on tour through Germany and the UK and Scandinavia without like going bankrupt, which is brilliant. They also supported like to help us out with like PR and stuff. So we are not in a position to complain like compared to like UK or US, but yeah, it's
absolutely not.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I don't take it as a complaint either. I take it as just part of the parcel of being in a band and having discussions about how you plan effectively, and that's where those support systems can be absolutely massive to bands, but you've got to jump through some hoops to get that as well. But that also then speaks testament to how good your fucking band is, quite simply, that they're willing to support it. I actually saw there's a wonderful guy called Kevin Dornan on YouTube who filmed you at Bristol at the Louisiana a couple of years back in 2019. He filmed like Forevermore, and he filmed we filmed most of the set, We're All Gonna Die, and they are unbelievable live recordings. Like the band,
I haven't seen those.
Oh, I'll email them to you.
Is this on YouTube or?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. They've got like 67 views, 127 views.
That's how we roll.
No, listen, slow down, Mads. Slow down, Mads. This is because it's a guy, it's just a music loving guy who's got his little channel, and unless someone's searching it out, you're not going to necessarily find it. Whereas you've got.
It's okay. I'm not complaining. Actually, at that particular gig, there was a guy. He was a local, like he goes to all the shows.
Is that Big Jeff?
And yeah, Big Jeff.
Yeah,
Shout out to Big Jeff.
Yeah, and he's in hospital as well. So big shout out to him.
Oh man, and he drew me, like he had his little pad and pen, and he drew a portrait of me while I was singing. So while we were playing the gig, that was. I like that.
That's flipping sweet. Was he the one that then started tweeting you a bunch after the show, or is that a different super fan?
I'm not sure.
No? I don't know. I was scouring through a few interview articles the last few days here, but well, the footage that Kevin got that I'll email you before I run to work in a bit, once we're done in a second. It's the sound, usually for live video, the sound is shit, but like it just goes to show just how incredible your live show is. And this is when you've got a 4-piece with, I believe, the WizKid on synth. At least he's listed as WizKid. I'm presuming that's not his birth name.
Ole.
Yeah, it is with Ole WizKid Hovig. That's his name.
Yeah, because I'm originally from Malmesbury, which is about half an hour from Bristol. And Bristol's such a great music town. And with the time then, Christian, that you lived in Liverpool, how far did you venture around when you were in the band all those years ago? What are some standout places in England that you'd love to go back to?
I think for me, Bristol is one of my favorite cities. And I think Brighton is a bit similar. There's more colors. I think like the houses have more, just like simple things like
the
houses have different kind of colors, bright colors. And I think for me, staying in Liverpool for almost 3 years, it's the best people I ever met. I'm most friendly, and a couple that took us in like straight from the airport that slept on air mattresses for 2 weeks while finding a flat. But also the shittiest people I ever met are from Liverpool. Like chasing me. I went on a fucking Sunday stroll and they were chasing me with bricks and stones out of Anfield, like the little yobs with their like tracksuits and smoking weed and drinking cider. So it's I love Liverpool in many ways as well.
What did they want?
And
shoes?
London.
Why were they chasing you?
They wanted to kill him.
Because we didn't fit in. They saw that we were like probably like foreigners, and then we didn't wear tracksuits. So yeah, man,
that's brutal. It's fascinating because like since I've moved to Canada, I would never wear tracksuits because you'd be associated in England with being a yob, as you just said, or being a naughty individual. But over here, tracksuits are like a sign of high fashion for some people. It's like, you are balling if you're in a tracksuit, where it's over there, it's like, I want the hubcaps on your car. That's what I strive to get from you, is the wheels if I can. Just give me the keys, I'll steal the whole fucking thing. That's the sort of vibe over there. Over here, it's a bit more like decadent, Like they drink Stella Artois over here like it's the most refined beer on the planet. I've got no fucking idea. Anyway, that's a whole other...
And you heard the expression, the Scouse key?
Tell me more about the Scouse key.
It's a brick.
Ah, perfect. That's how you get in. There we go. Oh, dear. I'm not locked out. I'm always available to get in. It's easy peasy.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I'm cognizant of the fact that, Mads, you're on holiday, for goodness sake, and Christian, it's also, what is it now? 10 o'clock? No, 9. Is it 10:10 or 9:11?
9, yeah. So it's not late.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
But
it's nice.
I got to go to work in about an hour here and go and close up the store. But I just, it's just such a thrill to converse with you and just to get to know you a bit more, because you never know until you ask, Mads, for as much as it's like, I don't fucking think about it that much, but I really do. The way that music is to me is it transports me back to moments, whether they're good or bad. And when I listen to songs, I don't listen to them once or twice. It's 30, 40, 50, 60 times. It's going round and round, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm not. And I just find your music to be so authentic and so uplifting and just so you. And I think that's the key to it. Like you said in those early days in interviews, where it's like, we don't have a plan. We just want to fucking have fun, get drunk, have fun and do it. And that's what is the magic of the friendship that you have, is you're not trying to be anything that you're not. You're just being Mads and Christian and the others that we haven't spoken with, but maybe in the future. You're just being you. So I appreciate you both for giving your time and for bearing your souls in your artwork, because it's really, really special. It really is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Thank you. We don't have a rush. Well, I don't have a rush. Do you have a rush, Mats?
No, not at all.
Keep it going
No
as long
problem.
as you want, John.
Okay, well, let's talk about Eric Haaland, Erlen Haaland, because Mads will love to bring it back to soccer.
With the football, yeah.
No, whatever. No, Haaland is an incredible player. Man City, good for you. I find it odd that Man City are selling all their team to their competitors, but that's a side note.
Yeah, but they're saying they're poor players to Arsenal, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but Zinchenko's not too bad, and Jesus is not too bad either. I mean,
Well,
anyway.
Is it that good? I don't know.
They'll show up in the first London derby, that's for sure. They'll show up for a quick half an hour and then get sent off.
They choked properly on the I think, did you see the 3-0 win?
Oh yeah, every game.
Because the thing is that I think the crowd actually killed Arsenal in that game.
Yeah.
I remember I went to can't remember the year. I went when Harry Kane scored the winner in the 86th minute. I went to White Hart Lane and I saw that game.
Oh wow!
And then we lost to Liverpool. I went to that game as well. The like on the Wednesday after. But the atmosphere that I was watching on the telly, the atmosphere that I heard on the 3-0, like on the 3-0, I haven't heard that since that game. Since I went to that game in like whenever that was, like 2016 or something.
Yeah.
And you could see like the Arsenal, they were scared. They properly, like, they choked, which is, it's a testament to the fans, because I think after the new stadium, I think like I'm a tourist myself when I go there, but I sing all the songs and I try to like back the team, but I think the atmosphere is often quite poor and they quite like boo at the team and stuff. But when you that evening, and that you could see like they were like deer, is that expression, deer in my headlights?
The deer in the headlights? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's
holding, like losing his head, and he should be like he went off. He was a red card after 30 minutes, but it should have been off after like 15.
Yeah, he should have. It's fascinating though, and I've got to quickly. We've got a new fish I've got to put in a fish tank. Is that okay if I quickly do that? It's just on the couch here.
Go for it.
We got 3 yesterday, and then I guess one thought, fuck it. So it wasn't alive this morning when we woke up. The tank wasn't quite good enough for him, but we've got a replacement. We've just got to put it in.
This is amazing.
Tusen takk. Ja, det hørte jeg.
And in 20 minutes,
it will be dead.
We will release. Have we named the new fish yet? We haven't named the new fish yet. Should we call it Spielberg?
I think it's called Spielbergs.
We're asking in the kitchen, just checking in the kitchen with. Yeah, we're going to go Spielbergs. Okay. Well,
that's great.
Another good game. Another good name actually might be Brown Cheese.
Yeah.
No, you're not feeling the brown cheese in the kitchen. No, they must have missed that part. They must have been in the store when we were talking about Norwegian brown cheese. Okay, I'll fill them in later. Have you ever had tropical fish?
We tried with the fish tank, but it didn't work out. And then we got a cat instead. And the cat is it's easier to maintain.
I'll tell you a random story, Christian, is that this morning when Harley and Jody went out to water the front patio, Harley said, "Oh, there's cat poop over there." And for the last couple of nights, I guess there's a few cats in the neighborhood that are new and they're sort of fighting for who's going to be the head honcho around here. And to the extent that one of the cats has just decided to start taking dumps by people's staircases to come into their house. Like, this is a dump by the stairs here. That's a power move. Your cat doesn't just shit randomly in the house as if to say, "Christian, food's late. What's up with you?" I don't.
The thing is that I live in an apartment building, so it's an indoor cat. We let him out once in a while, but he's a nervy kind of guy, and he's sterilized. So he has 2 little toilets that he uses. But normally when he's hungry, he meows and meows and meows. Yeah.
You have 2 toilets for one cat? 2 litter boxes? Or he literally has been trained to use a flush?
One where I sit now outside, and then one in the kitchen.
Oh, right. Okay. Nice.
So he's we not trained him to use like the proper toilet, but my wife actually taught her old cat when she was young to use the toilet and flush.
I'm not sure if I believe that though, Christian. I never, when people say that, I'm sorry, I just don't know. Did you see it? I don't know if that's real. Everyone says, oh, I've trained my cat, and they take a picture of it and it's just sort of stood there, you know.
I trust her though.
Okay.
It would be strange after 13 years to lie about that.
Hey, you never know. Oh, wow. This has got the chat going. Josiah says, we had a cat that used the toilet for a while. Okay, well, all right. Well, I believe Josiah.
It's good that we're like, when we're talking about cats, that's when people are interacting. Not we're talking about music.
Yeah, no.
That's great.
It doesn't matter what you created. It matters about the meme, the GIF. Yeah, Mads is probably going crazy here, Mads. Are you a cat's guy or a dog's guy or just whatever?
I'm allergic to both.
To both?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So just keep on talking, people.
It's built up on like the hostile kind of no animals, no people kind of guy.
Yeah. And no sports.
No sports.
Josiah saying in the chat that he's at work, so he's been listening as he works. Lol. He does care. I care. No, thank you all for being here. Yeah, we appreciate it.
I love that he cares. We love that he cares.
Yeah, we've got a nice little turnout. We've got a nice little who else is saying? Jody's laughing in the kitchen. Yeah, Alicia, Alien, Enito, Josiah. I don't know who danking around is, but thanks for being here. Elasian, Perch, Roxy, Steve. No, thanks for all being here. We appreciate it. We're just, we've gone through the music now. Now we're just spitballing on throwaway topics, fish, cats, dogs. Actually, Jody, my partner, is allergic to cats. So
you still have a cat?
The fact that Theo is here. Yeah, I mean, originally when I moved in, I had the 2 cats, but sadly, Dali passed away about a year and a half ago now. But yeah, what is it you've been taking these sort of droplets on the tongue or something to help with it, and it's made a little bit of a difference.
It's not the EpiPen.
I don't think it's EpiPen. I don't think Jody is that allergic. Yeah.
That would be dedication if you still have like the EpiPen and then you have a cat.
My God, that would be so messed up if immunotherapy, Jody says in the chat. That's what she's been doing. But my God, imagine if that was the case where every day we had to buy 5 EpiPens. And it's a black cat too. She'd have to have like a belt of EpiPens. Like, don't you cross my path. I'm ready. Oh shit, here we go. Anyway, that's
good. Are we losing you, Mats?
No, we'll bring it. Yeah, we lost Mads 5 minutes ago. He's furious at us, to be honest.
But he's on holiday. There's nothing else to do.
What have you been up to on the holiday, Mads? Like, is it sort of near a lake, or you were saying? I see is that like a bouncy castle behind you or something, or what's going on?
No, I'm by the sea, and we have like today we brought the kids to a blueberry picking session, and that's it. That's what I did today.
And your brother is driving a boat. I've seen on Facebook.
Yeah, he's driving the boat.
Very fast. He likes to drive.
Very fast.
Very fast. Yeah.
I'm not particularly comfortable with being on water. We went to the mainland and to a beautiful quiet spot in the middle of nowhere in British Columbia a couple of weeks back, and we went to this lake, and Jody and I were in a canoe. Jody learned even more about how particular I am as a human being when on water, and because I can't swim, and scared of it. But that was stunning. Just eventually, after getting a groove with each other and communicating, to make sure that, like, at one point we were going directly towards a tree, and I was freaking out saying, "We're going to go into that tree. We're going to go into that tree." And Jody's like, "Well, you could use the paddle, and we wouldn't hit the bloody tree." I mean, that's just me being very polite. Was very patient with me, but to the chance to see some eagles and stuff was it was just so beautiful and calm out there. Just to paint a picture, Mads, like, is there very few people around where you are, and Oslo's a bit more busy, and that's why you want to get away? Because we just fell in love with the fact that we could just be in the middle of nowhere and not have to worry about so much interaction.
No, actually, this island is very quiet all year around, but when it's summer holiday like June and July and August, it's like packed with people. So right now it's a party every day.
Lovely.
Yeah, but isn't living in Canada and on this Vancouver is quite similar to Norway, the climate, as far as I know.
It might be. I've never been to Norway.
I think so. No, just like since I have family on Vancouver Island, I know like they've said that the climate in Canada is quite similar to at least parts of Norway. So it's cold in the winter and then summer is okay.
Well, you
normally.
know, we could try and find you a house, or you could move all your gear to be with family. Be like, I know we haven't really spoken in a long time, but we need a base in North America. Have you, I mean, maybe you've even thought about that. Like if you get a base there, get the family over for a week holiday, and then you go off and go down the west coast of the US and do a tour there and then come back or go home.
That would be great.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
I know that if ever you're anywhere near here, I'll do whatever I can. I can't give you a 5-star hotel. Let's pump the brakes on that. But whatever I can help with, I would love to, because I just would be so excited to see you. And it would make sense to try and do like a Vancouver down in Seattle and Washington area. So then you'd be hitting the two things. But it's difficult. I don't even know what they charge now to get working permit visas to go to the US for music. It used to be about $500 US a band member for a month. I'm not sure what it is lately.
It's quite expensive, I think. And then again, the funding, I think, for us, if we get funding to pay for the visas, then that will help a lot. So I hopefully will make something happen. It would be great. I think at least my dream will be, and imagine like meeting relatives as well. It would be something else.
What my sort of plan is hopefully in 10 years from now is to be in a position where I can message bands like you and say, I'd love to get you to Victoria, fly you over, get you the hotel sorted, and I'd love to put on festivals that are free down in the inner harbour, where in the next 2 or 3 years they're going to build a new amphitheatre, outdoor theatre, and they have massive, like the Victoria Reggae and Ska Festival do their festival down there, and there's the Jazz Festival, and all the usual festivals will go on down there. But I'd love to bring together just a modern rock festival that is free for 3 days, just to expose bands that I flip in to get me going and that I adore. So give me 10 years. And if you know anyone that does, that invests in anyone like that, then yeah, it's just looking into all these government schemes that sometimes can help, sometimes government doesn't help, but sometimes they can help. But yeah, but the last thing, because I've got to go to work in half an hour here. So it sounds then, Mads, that there's no plan until it's planned out. But with the way that things are shaping up, do you look beyond Vestli right now, or is the focus purely on let's get it out? Are there more singles to come? Or is it just going to be the record in August and then here we go?
We have some leftover songs that didn't make the album that we're planning to release at some time. And I was looking through my demos. I like record these demos for myself when I write a new song. So I try to record it as quickly as possible, and I have some new songs, but let's see.
Mats, you are so modest. There are some fucking great songs that you're written that we should record, and then there's not leftovers, because we wanted to release a double album, but the labels didn't want to like do the double album thing, so we had to take away some of the songs that we really like, that we want to release. And then maybe we haven't discussed this, that if we could like record 2 or 3 more songs, then we have maybe another album ready to go next year. So
hopefully. But it's like when last year we recorded and we rehearsed and recorded and made songs, and right now I feel quite empty. And then now we're going to tour, and I'm going to try to enjoy that as good as I can. and the songs will come next year. I think the new songs will come next year.
Yeah, when they need to, they'll appear. Life will show you. Life will show you the way. Or something cheesy.
Yeah.
And if not, you know, Vancouver Island brown cheese. Let's go. You know,
I'm in.
that's extremely generous of you to agree to such a ridiculous idea. But no, the two of you, thank you, Mads, and thank you, Christian, so much for your time. I could.
Well, thank you, John.
Oh, did we? I think we just lost Mads actually. By I think he just pressed. He just dropped out of the Zoom, but that's perfectly timed because I was going to say goodbye because I got to go get ready for work. I love that for the last hour, Nicholas, you've been. Sorry, Christian. Why do I keep saying Nicholas all of a sudden?
Don't know.
Did I say that
Don't
before,
know.
or did I say Christian?
No, this is the first time you said Nicholas, so I don't know. But yeah, thank you, John.
I'm looking at my notes. I see no one called Nicholas. No idea where that came from. But
Someone in pop named Nicholas?
No, there's no one in.
Nah.
But I love the fact that for the last hour or so, you've been sort of half and half.
Sorry, yeah, I've been very relaxed in my couch.
Get comfortable, you know? The amount of times that we do a Zoom and have to move the camera.
And my wife's plants in the background. She will be very happy with that.
Yes, and Jody, all her beautiful plants. As soon as I try and tend for them, they die. So I don't tend for them. But the house is full of these beautiful plants. But no, Mads is gonzo. So pass on my love and thanks to him.
I will.
Yeah, I can't wait for Vestli to come out, and I really appreciate your time again, man. Just have a great rest of your evening over in Oslo.
Thanks. By the way, have you got the album?
I don't have the full album, no. Oh, that's one thing I was going to email you about, is I'd love to...
sort you out.
Yeah, if there's a way that I could buy some signed vinyl to use as pricing for the station, do you think that's doable?
Definitely. Let's just speak to BSM, or depends on what kind of color you like. On like the Fysisk, the Scandinavian, or the British one.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
And I'll send you a link to the album as well.
Well, thank you very much. And then anyone that's still here watching our conversation, if you email whattwasthatradio@gmail.com and say I love Spielbergs, you'll be entered for a draw to win some Spielbergs vinyl and gear and whatever we sort out at a later date, Christian.
Nice. Great.
All right. Have an amazing rest of your night, and I'll speak to you soon.
You too, John.
Cheers, mate.
One.
Come on, Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
All right, there we go. A conversation with Mads and also Christian, not Nicholas, of the wonderful Spielbergs. I think Mads at the end there was like trying to carry a cigarette, his drink, his brewski, and the phone, and dipped out of the cool there. But to get nearly an hour and a half is wonderful. So, yeah, if you are a What Was That subscriber, and you can find out more about that by going to whatwasthatradio.com/subscribe, then I will try and get this video uploaded to the YouTube Unlisted ASAP, because once these conversations are done, they disappear behind the closed doors of supporters. And then it will probably be released on the podcast, probably actually next Monday. We've caught up now. There was a 15-week delay for the last year or so on chats, and a conversation with is released every Monday, and then what was short every Tuesday, which is in around 10 minutes, no more, where one of my best friends and editor of the podcast, Mike Battle, picks his favorite little nugget, and then maybe it leads you to dive into the full-length conversation. And all of those, whether it's Nothing But Thieves or Black Pumas or Spielbergs or Saint Sonia and Menno that we were speaking about earlier on in this conversation, they're all available via whatwasthatradio.com/podcast if you dive into the portal. So thanks all very much for being here. Steve, what about those beavers? Where are the beavers, Steve, in the chat? Josiah, thank you. That was killer. And to Perch and Roxy and Jody, who's in the kitchen and danking around, and Alien Gathering and Alice and Alexis the Nexus. Yeah, I believe I said that right. Just appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day. Whatever you're doing the rest of it, please look after yourself. And I hope there's some fun and smiles involved in the rest of it too, because we've got to cherish that positive. Until next time, not otters, beavers, Steve, and cheerio. Have a great day.